Link Click is one of the most unique, engrossing, heartfelt and beautiful shows I've watched. Not long after I watched the first season, the second season got announced, and I've not been this excited for a show to come out in a long time. I watched it the second it came out, and what do I think about it? Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I will say that it does go into a more plot heavy and serious tone throughout the whole season, such as with the last season had some tamer episodes that weren't as high stakes. To give an example, all of season 2 has the same feel as the very last episode of season 1, if you know how that went down. So it has quite the tonal shift, and people may prefer it or some might not. I for one just found it different, not necessarily being any greater nor worse. Both seasons have their strengths, but the one question I had in my head, which I knew many had as well, was answers to the huge cliffhanger at the end of season 1, where Luke Wong got stabbed, not knowing what'll come of him, fans questioning if he was going to die or live. Even trailers for the upcoming season barely gave any insight on what happened to him, not showing his character in any of them, to raise even more suspicion and questions. Also, spoilers for all of the newest season if you haven't watched it, but Luke Wong turned out to be alive in the very next episode, which is a relief, but the length they went just to keep it hidden was great. Now, what are the changes from the newest season to the last season? Well, this time it follows a continuous story, instead of season 1 which had many smaller storylines split up, which switches things up. This season is like uncovering a mystery, with each episode always leaving questions that need answered, and the more you watch the more sense it makes, to keep you engrossed and interested in everything that is going on. I will say that I do miss the more laid back and relaxing parts of the earlier episodes, to have a bigger variety of emotions for the series. The new episodes are all extremely intense. I understand why they went this direction, because if it stuck to the same formula, it would be more uninteresting. The plot would move a lot slower, and most fans probably expected it to go in this direction anyway, since with that one episode, it pretty much set the mood for what it was going for. I'll say some of these episodes go to 1 to 100 to really catch you off guard. A few of them are messed up. The first episode shows one of the characters that we knew from the previous season falling off a building, plummeting to their death. Another is of a different character getting their head caved in with a baseball bat, but the one I find to be the most upsetting and devastating is in episode 5. It's pretty uncomfortable to watch. It is a good episode, but it's about family abuse. It's uneasy. This season is definitely darker than the last, and just like the last season, it has as many cliffhangers. It's great because it keeps you wondering and guessing to what might happen to prepare yourself for the next episode. It's entertaining to see how everything turns out in the end. Then similarly to the first season, the final episodes opens up with even more questions with a huge cliffhanger that probably won't be answered in a few years or just whenever the next season gets released. But there was a lot I liked about season 2. The animation and art are as good as always. It even has some short scenes that completely change the art style to have an innocent, cute look. But since this is Link Click, of course it's not going to be innocent. Showing a fox pummeling another fox while a building catches fire in the back, then a ton of birds get killed. But what I find neat about it is that it's based off a story of some of the new characters introduced into the series with very prominent pink hair. And their mother used to tell her children a small little story about the siblings getting lost in the woods while some birds would mock them. It later then changes to one of the siblings describing the time of what happened with their family and certain other events in picture form, since the girl is a mute. And it's such an interesting way to tell a story. It's not told with any words, just a bunch of animated foxes. There's also another nice one where it shows a backstory in complete black and white. It makes it feel really sinister, especially knowing that it's telling the backstory of the villain in this season and how he ended up the way he did. But even more that this show does, which is appealing, is the opening. It has gorgeous animation and visuals from start to finish. Seeing Cheng fall down and even up the building is spectacular. Then with a bunch of characters flashing by, including whatever this thing is. The song is also pretty good. I wouldn't say it's as good as the other opening, but it's still quite catchy.
I will never live, take back all my regrets and camouflage it like your silhouette. Time is like music, play it till the end and then reset.
But the most unique thing about this opening is how it reverses midway through. Even the lyrics become reversed, yet it doesn't ruin the song. And it fits the theme with time traveling. It's such a neat idea. So I was extremely satisfied with this season, but compared to the last I would probably say the first season was better, since I preferred the laid back episodes combined with the more serious episodes. It had a better dynamic, instead of it being high stakes all the time. But that doesn't mean that the second season was a lot worse. They're both quite equal. I just slightly liked the first one more. Yet the second did have quite a lot of emotional scenes to really get me on edge. I am in high hope for the third season, though I do have to say I don't want the anime to go on for too long. Since I wouldn't want it to keep unnecessarily going to drag out its plot, it should end when it feels right, that just tells the story fluidly with a satisfying start and end. But that isn't something I should worry about right now. The point is, Link Click is incredible and everyone should watch it.